Welcome back to our city, and this week's topic we're going to talk about Veterans Day and veterans here in the city of Elizabeth. Joining me is Mr. William Salzman. Welcome, William.
Al, nice being here.
What branch of the military did you serve in?
Navy.
Navy. And what year were you drafted or?
I enlisted in July 19th, 1961, right after graduation from Sacred Heart High here in Elizabeth. And agreed with me right from the very beginning. I gained 20 pounds in boot camp, and I loved every minute of it.
You gained 20 pounds in boot
Gained
camp?
20 pounds in boot
I thought
camp.
you were supposed to be so strenuous you lose weight.
That's what I thought too. But
Did that song sound familiar?
every morning, reveille, yep, 6 a.m.
And what was boot camp like?
Well, I remember when we arrived, it was probably late afternoon on July 20th. 1961, and we were confronted by this nice, salty gentleman who had a hearing problem because all he did was yell in our face. So, but that was my first experience. The Navy boot camp is split into three categories. Camp Barry, which is the first camp you go to. That's indoctrination, where you take your shots, get your uniforms, get your haircuts, and then your first week of training is Camp Moffett. And in that phase of training, they teach you the basics about military life and life in the United States Navy. And then, of course, you go on to advanced training in Camp Porter, which is your more extended technical avenues of education in the service. And after that, it's graduation.
Is there any particular reason why you picked the Navy?
You know, you can ask a veteran, if you had a room full of veterans, you can ask all of them and you'll never get the same answer why they joined the Navy. I guess the most basic reason is because you want to serve your country, you want to see the world, you want to get away from the apron strings, a lot of reasons. Right. But I can always remember from grade school in Blessed Sacrament that I told my mother and father, when I graduate high school, I'm going into the Navy, and that's exactly what I did.
Right. And at that time, Vietnam War was going on?
Not yet. Gulf of Tonkin incident happened around August 7th, August 8th of 1964. About August the 11th, I was cryptologist stationed at San Miguel, Philippines, a naval communication station. I received emergency orders to meet the Ranger on Yankee Station in the Gulf of Tonkin. And that was I arrived on station about August 11th, 1964. So
when you enlisted initially, we weren't at war with Vietnam?
We were not at war, no.
And how did you feel at that moment?
Well, it was more like a hobby to me. I mean, I was young. I was barely 18 years old when I joined the Navy. And here I am going into a new world of adventure.
Right.
And I'm going to see the world, and I'm going to be educated, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. And that was my attitude. Right. And it was an easygoing situation back then.
And where did you travel to?
Well, my first duty station was Corey Field, Pensacola, Florida. I graduated 2 schools, cryptographic technician R branch school, and also direction finding school. And after that, Midway Island, girl behind every tree. For a whole year, I could never find a tree on the whole island. Midway is broken up. It's an atoll, and it's in 2 sections. Sand Island, which is the big island, and it houses the early warning aircraft that are always in the air 24/7, and Eastern Island, which was the Navy communication station at Midway. And it was my job to follow Russian submarines out of Vladivostok Harbor and follow them as they went out on patrol, and make sure that we knew where every Russian sub was every minute of every day.
And roughly how many people were on a ship with you?
Oh, when I hit the Ranger, over 4,000.
4,000 on one
Yeah,
ship?
you could on the USS Ranger. You could play 4 NFL football games at one time, 2 on the hangar deck and 2 on the flight deck.
Wow.
Big boat.
And what were the sleeping conditions like?
Not too bad. I'm 6'5", and you think I'd be squashed up in the rack, but that wasn't the case. There's a lot of room, and you were restricted on what you could keep, what you can bring on board, because there was no room to house everything. So when I was at San Miguel, Philippines, and I got my orders to the Ranger, I had to ship all my personal stuff home, and then just take my uniforms and my military equipment with me when I went on board ship.
And again, what year were we referring to now?
Well, I went on a Ranger August the 11th, 1964. And we were on Yankee Station. We hold the record on that deployment of being the Navy ship that holds the record for not seeing land in a war zone. We were at sea for 62 days.
So in 1964, how did you stay in touch with your family back here in America?
Well, back then there was no computers.
Right.
And what we did was run phone patches. We would get a ham operator either on board ship. I was in communications, so I had access to it, or on a land station. And when I was on Midway, it was KM6CE, King Mike, the number 6, Canada, England was the call sign. And we would call for any New Jersey station that's monitoring this frequency. We would connect with them over the shortwave system and give them our phone number. They would call a house, and the charges for the Bell telephone was only from that station, although I was on Midway, to the house. So it was pretty easy to make a phone call home. And letters, of course.
Do you have a memorable experience that you can share?
Well, I guess the most memorable is being trapped on the Ranger. When you land an aircraft on board an aircraft carrier, it's called trapping.
Right.
And there's 4 wires, resisting wires. The 3rd wire is a perfect landing. So the first time I went out to the Ranger, I was on the COD, which is carrier onboard delivery. And I trapped on the pilot hit the 3rd wire, and the plane comes to a dead stop, but your body's still going. And I'll tell you, it's a thrill ride. And getting shot off, and he comes in at full throttle.
Yeah.
Because if he misses the wires, he's got to be able to take off again and come around for another try. So you're coming in at 150 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you hit the wire and your aircraft just stops.
So a lot of the guys you met at that time, do you still stay in touch with them now or no?
Quite a few, yeah. From my duty station on Midway to my duty station on the Ranger and in the Philippines, thanks through the world of computers, every day we're conversing with each other. A group from Corey Field, Pensacola, Florida, the new inductees, the new guys that are taking our place, and Philippines, Midway, and the Ranger every day.
Do you ever have a chance to meet face to face with a reunion, something like that?
Reunion years and years and years ago, but just by pictures that they post on Facebook. The world of computers is really, really great.
Did you join a veterans organization?
I did. I belong to Kenilworth American Legion Post 470. I belong to Kenilworth VFW Post 2230, and I'm also a member of the Vietnam Veterans of America Post 688 in Westfield.
Now, with the veterans organization, what type of activities does the post do?
Well, we're just getting into our busy season now at the post, and on November 7th, we had flag deployment at Graceland Cemetery. At 8 o'clock, it starts at the post with a full breakfast. I mean, eggs, ham, bacon, potatoes. Then at 9 o'clock, we're off to Graceland Cemetery, right by the Kenilworth Parkway exit. There's 1,367 veterans buried in that cemetery. We put a flag on every one of them's graves. Takes a couple of hours. We have a lot of help, Boy Scouts, and other veterans organizations come down to help. Then everybody goes back for lunch at the Kenilworth Veterans Center. On Sunday, it's Veterans Mass at St. Teresa's Church. Father Joe gives a Veterans Mass, and then he hosts a little breakfast in the school hall after the Mass. And of course, our Veterans Day ceremonies start at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, November the 11th. And everyone that attends that ceremony is invited back after it's over for a hot meal at the Kenilworth Veterans Center. After this week closes up, we'll start our Thanksgiving baskets. We start our collections for everything that we need to go into our baskets. Every needy person that we can find gets a basket 2 days before Thanksgiving and 2 days before Christmas. The turkeys are all donated by Costco, and our students in the local schools, they collect all the canned goods and everything that's needed. And then we have a couple of bakers that make the pies for us. Last year we had 300 cakes donated by the Cake Boss.
Wow. Well, I want to say thank you very much, and it's an honor and pleasure to sit here and talk to a hero.
Oh, I'm not a hero.
Yes, you are. It's an honor.
Thank you.
My pleasure. We'll be back with the second half of Our City after these words. Thank you.
We're an American original. Dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started.